We invite you to just relax, close your eyes, rest in the presence, and hold space.
Ganapataye Namo Namaha. Gam Ganapataye Namo Namaha. Gam Ganapataye Namo Namaha. Jai Ganesha Gananata Dayaniti Sakala Vignya Karadura Hamari. 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 Namo Namaha. Gam Ganapataye Namo Namaha. Gam Ganapataye Namo Namaha. Gam Ganapataye Namo Namaha. Namo
Namaste. Welcome to our weekly online satsang. Satsang is a Sanskrit word that literally means community of truth, a community of seekers of truth. We could just call it spiritual community. It's such an important part of our journey of awakening, to join together with others who are also awakening or awakened, sharing our journeys, sharing our presence. We strengthen one another exponentially when we join together like this. It's good to do it locally, so try to find a local group that you can meditate with, share blessings with, and if you can't find one, then please start one. We have on our website a video, 36 minutes long. You could just invite a friend or several friends and pull up that video and just hit play. And 36 minutes later, you'll have several initiated blessing givers. The Flowering Heart Blessing is the blessing that we share in these satsangs. It's a transmission of awakened, enlightened, divine consciousness and energy, and it causes awakening in the receiver and the flowering of the heart in oneness with the divine. It's specifically a blessing that turns on the divine experience at the center of your being. So it's wonderful in the way that it can free someone from excessive dependence on something outside of themselves. Because the one we're looking for is us. And our true self, our divine essential nature, which resides at the center of our spiritual heart, already there, is enlightenment itself, and it is fully divine. So what we need to do is journey within. The outer world's a reflection of the inner world. The Flowering Heart Blessing goes right in, awakens that divine presence within our hearts and causes it to begin to expand and shine outwardly through all the layers of our being, illuminating our spirit, transforming and cleansing the soul realm, which is mind and emotions, will, programming, charges, and also floods our mortal bodies, bringing about physical healing and transformation of the physical body out through all the layers of our being into our relationships, healing and transforming them, and out into the world, rippling out to infinity, contaging others with awakening. Awakened consciousness is the most contagious thing on earth. It's much more powerful than negative consciousness, the negativity, which the world is so full of. What we need is for people to awaken from the illusion of separate existence to the direct living experience of oneness with each other and with all that is and with the divine source. The trouble the world's in today is because people largely are experiencing separate existence, which is an illusion. Nothing is separate from anything else. But because we feel separate and threatened by one another, we've created a civilization rooted in competition and conflict and war. When humanity awakens and shifts into oneness, we will begin to see a new world order emerging that's rooted in cooperation, not competition, harmony, not conflict, and peace, not war. It's quite natural when the heart is awakened and begins to flower with genuine, unconditional love and compassion in oneness with the divine. So that's what the major thrust of our work is, to help as many people awaken as quickly as possible. And there are lots of other people doing that. Many groups, many individuals, many awakened spiritual teachers these days are sharing a direct transmission of awakened consciousness. It's always existed in various forms under the name Shaktipat, Diksha, blessing. Every mystical tradition has some form of this. And now it's quite widespread, but the Flowering Heart Blessing has certain distinctives. When the divine shared it with me and Suzanne, who you may have noticed is not with me tonight. She can't be here. She's with us in spirit. But over 7 years ago, the Divine Presence, we had been sharing other forms of blessing for years. And the Divine said, begin to share this one with people. And tell them that it doesn't flow through any master or saint or avatar or organization or hierarchy. It comes directly from me, the Divine Presence, to whomever I choose to give it to. And I choose to give it to anyone who wants it as a free gift of grace. The Divine said, since it's grace, don't charge for it. Grace is a free gift that comes from unconditional love. And tell people, if they connect with this and they enjoy it, and they like to share it with others, they are immediately initiated just by receiving it. So if this was your first time here tonight, you've already been activated and initiated. Just invite the Divine Presence to pour the blessing through you to all of the participants with us now and those that will be viewing the recording in the days ahead. We have more people watch these satsangs and participate in them after we do it live on Monday nights during the week because of their time schedule or various commitments. They can't be with us when we're doing it live. But it's still live because in spirit there's no separation or distance in time and space. So if somebody plays this video a year from now, they'll feel the same beautiful presence and energy that we're all sharing right now. So please join us in sending the Flowering Heart blessing to all the participants here tonight, those that will be tuning in to this video recording in the future. And as the blessing is flowing through you, the Divine will be working on you also, removing blocks to awakening, accelerating your own awakening process. It's an ongoing process because awakening is not a destination. It's a continual expansion of consciousness. So we're glad you're here tonight, and it's important, these times of coming together like this. We like to open the meetings, the satsangs, to questions about the spiritual journey, about spiritual practice, about anything, even best what you might be encountering, experiencing, if there are obstacles or things that are puzzling you about awakening or God realization, meditation. We're happy to address any questions you might have about the spiritual journey of awakening. Also, if you have a fresh insight that may have been given to you, a breakthrough, an awakening, feel free to share that with us too. If you're on Facebook Live, you can just enter it into the chat or at Vimeo also. And that reminds me, we like to ask those that visit during the satsangs on Facebook Live to give us a thumbs up or a heart, a like or a love, because then at the end of the webcast we can go in and look and see your names. Otherwise, if you leave something in the chat like Linda Baird just did, we know Linda's here. But some of you, we don't know who you are, and it would be great to see later on. At Vimeo, you'd have to actually enter a comment in the chat, and we would appreciate that. So if you have any questions, please, this would be the time. Just look into your heart, ask the presence within. Is there something that you might ask tonight that would help you, help give you light, more clarity? It will help the entire group because our journeys are somehow parallel. They're very different. Each person's journey is unique, so you can't read a book about someone's awakening and follow it step by step quite that way, because your journey is going to be unique, but they will parallel, and we all go through similar challenges and obstacles along the way. So, and questions. So whatever you might be wondering about will help others as well. I'll wait a few minutes while the questions come, I hope. We'll see. And while I'm waiting, I'm going to read some quotes to you. I like to, in recent weeks and the last few months, when there aren't questions flowing, and even sometimes when there are, I'm sharing quotes mostly from famous people that address certain issues that touch us all. These come from a website called inspiringquotes.com. And the ones that we're looking at tonight address coping with unexpected change. Change can be scary. Having to step outside our comfort zone and face something new, well, that's the stuff of nightmares for many of us. When change comes about without warning or preparation, it can leave us feeling vulnerable and disempowered. An unexpected change can rock the foundation of everything we believe we know about our lives, and even ourselves. Being resistant to change, especially change we can't control, is often motivated by fear. Fear of the unknown, fear of what we're losing or leaving behind, fear that we aren't up to the task of coping with what's next. Fear of change is not a weakness. In fact, it's a part of human evolution. In the ancient world, consistency and predictability were a matter of safety and survival. Yet, as the Greek philosopher Heraclitus said, nothing endures but change. Facing an unexpected change head-on means acknowledging our fear, mourning the loss of control and consistency, and stepping into the future with the firm belief that we are resilient enough to handle it. These quotes about the inevitability and unpredictability of change remind us that we can't always control the twists and turns that occur in our lives, but we can control how we respond to those changes. Before I launch into the quotes, we had our communion with the Cosmic Christ, which is an interfaith communion service with the Cosmic Christ that we do the last Sunday of each month. And yesterday, the meditation that we focused on was fear not, resisting the culture of fear. There's so much change going on in the world today, so quickly. We knew some people that are involved in the Arlington Institute, a futurist think tank. And a number of years ago, our friend presented these graphs that showed the rate of technological change, of political change, of climate, all these different graphs mapping the rate of change in the world. And every single graph, you could lay them on top of each other, we're getting faster and faster and faster and faster and reaching a vertical plane. If you think about it, 100 years ago, a lot of people were just getting electricity in their homes. We've seen the invention of the telephone and the telegraph grow to the point of what we're doing now with the internet. People were just experimenting with getting off the ground in simple, primitive airplanes, and now we fly into outer space. The development of technology is going at such a fast rate that there's a lot of stress in the world because our technology, our knowledge base has grown much faster than our wisdom. Hence, we haven't done a very good job of managing the knowledge and the technology that we have gained over the last 100 years. And as our friend at the Arlington Institute said, we're going to see more, and he told us this, I don't know, 10 years ago at least. He said, we're going to see more change in the next 10 years than we saw in the last century. And it's just going to keep speeding up. So the subject of unpredictable change is something that affects everyone beyond climate change and some of the other more obvious challenges the world is facing. So let's hear what some of these celebrities and authors and philosophers had to say about unexpected change. It is never quite safe to think we have done with life. When we imagine we've finished our story, fate has a trick of turning the page and showing us yet another chapter. Lucy Maud Montgomery, author. Once the storm is over, you won't remember how you made it through, how you managed to survive. You won't even be sure, in fact, whether the storm is really over. But one thing is certain. When you come out of the storm, you won't be the same person who walked in. Haruki Murakami. The changes we dread most may contain our salvation. Barbara Kingsolver. Some changes look negative on the surface, but you will soon realize that space is being created in your life for something new to emerge. Eckhart Tolle. Not everything that is faced can be changed, but nothing can be changed until it is faced. James Baldwin. All changes are more or less tinged with melancholy, for what we're leaving behind is part of ourselves. Amelia E. Barr, author. Life changes fast. Life changes in the instant, the ordinary instant. Joan Didion. Life or change is inevitable in life. You can either resist change and potentially be swept away by it, or you can cooperate with it, adapt to it, and benefit from it. Jack Carnfield, author. Life belongs to the living, and he who lives must be prepared for a change. Johann Wolfgang von Goethe, author. And that was Jack Canfield, not Cornfield. Sorry. Names. In a time of drastic change, it is the learners who inherit the future. Eric Hoffer, writer and philosopher. Everything changes, and nothing stands still. Heraclitus, philosopher. There is no sin punished more implacably by nature than the sin of resistance to change. For change is the very essence of living matter. To resist change is to sin against life itself. Anne Morrow Lindbergh, writer and pilot. Nothing is, they say, all becomes. Did you get that? Nothing is, they say, all becomes. The world is but a current of ephemeral appearances. There is nothing stable in it, and nothing permanent except change itself. Andrei Chevrillon, author. You're always you, and that don't change. And you're always changing, and there's nothing you can do about it. Neil Gaiman. The only way to make sense of change is to plunge into it, move with it, and join the dance. Alan Watts, writer and philosopher. The resistance and discomfort that we feel to the flow of change that resistance is a lack of ease with change and transformation. And another way of saying lack of ease is dis-ease. All dis-ease is resistance to the continual flow of life, which is changing and metamorphosizing from moment to moment. I remember I was at a conference that was being led by a very awakened monk from India. And he asked the group a question. And he said, "What are you?" And I want an answer. People tell me, "What are you?" And some people said, "Well, I'm a spirit having a human experience." And he said, "I'm not looking for that. I'm a human being." "Nope." I'm Michael Milner." "Nope." "No." And this went on and on and on while people did their best. "Well, I am the light of infinity. I am a manifestation of the divine." And nope, 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 nope. And finally someone said, "I am changing." And he went, "Bingo, that's it. You're not anything you can name. If you were, by the time it got out of your mouth, you had already changed. We're constantly transforming. So the best answer is, I am changing." Michael Christopher on Facebook Live asks, "Can nostalgia have a purpose in spiritual development?" Well, everything can have a purpose in spiritual development. Nostalgia can teach us a number of things. One thing is to face our feelings. A lot of the reasons that we have nostalgic feelings about things in the past is because we're holding on to them. Maybe there's a good reason. Maybe we have very fond memories. Maybe it's something that maybe our parents took us to the park on Saturdays when we were very young, and we might be very nostalgic about going to the park on weekends. So it can help us, remind us of these beautiful moments in life. It can also show us the things that have changed so much, and we can express gratitude and let go of them. Sometimes nostalgia leads to holding on to the past, and that's not helpful on the spiritual journey. Another question. Shoban, Michael, have you had experiences on the astral plane? I know my spiritual teacher always advised me to stay clear because of body snatching. Yeah, I'm kind of with your teacher there, but maybe I wouldn't put it in such a dramatic and fearful way. I've had lots of experiences, yes, on the astral plane. What is the astral plane? Well, there are all these dimensions of existence, of reality, and the physical world we're in is just one of them. And there are these various planes of existence that in India they're called lokas, the Tibetans call them bardos, we might just call them alternative realities or dimensions. And people often experience the astral plane in dreams, in meditation, and then beyond the astral plane is the transcendent, the realm of light, what the Hebrews called the third heaven, what some groups might call Satyaloka. It is the level of reality where the divine itself is supreme, and where the light beings, the devas, the angels, hang out. So basically, in the path of awakening and meditation, a lot of spiritual teachers, myself included, say just aim for the light. Aim for the dimension of enlightenment. I mean, it doesn't have to be full of angels and images and thoughts of God. It could be Bodhi, the Buddha mind, the pure, empty, vast, clear, limitless, infinite sea of pure consciousness that is the Buddha mind. And there's so many shiny and sort of interesting and attractive things on the astral plane that people can get stuck there. A lot of psychics develop astral travel on purpose, and really enjoy their experiences with entities and beings on the astral plane. But it's such an opportunity to get stuck. And as our friend here mentioned, body snatching. What happens is that when we're not fully awakened and we're not shielded enough, when people try to leave their bodies prematurely, entities and beings from other levels of reality that are not really enlightened, not really the highest, will attach themselves to the astral traveler. And that can really complicate your life. So it's best to steer clear of the astral plane unless you have a specific reason for being there. My original tradition in my youth was, and still is, Taoism. I'm a Christian mystic too, and I'm an initiated Buddhist, and I wear a number of hats. But I was trained in Chinese Taoist meditation, internal alchemy, Nui Gong or Ne Gong, which is similar to Kundalini Yoga in some ways. And we cultivate in Taoist alchemy a circle of energy called the microcosmic orbit, or the small heavenly orbit. And that involves the energy that flows up the spine to the top of the head, which is what Kundalini Yoga cultivates. But in Taoist meditation, that energy is brought down the front of the body to connect with the rising channel at the base of the spine, so that there is a complete circle, up the back, over the top of the head, and down the front. This circle does a number of wonderful things. It keeps all of what in India would be called chakras, these various energy centers that people meditate on, keeps them all online and balanced and flowing. Some yogas try to withdraw consciousness from the lower chakras and lock it with bandhas, which are locks, from going back down. And there's a bandha at the root chakra. There's one at the solar plexus to try to keep the energy up in the heart chakra and above, to lock it up there. And then there's a third bandha in the throat. So when the energy of the Kundalini rises to the 6th and 7th chakra, the yogi may use bandhas to lock it in the higher chakras. In some systems, there may be a purpose for that, but most of us are living in the world, and we need all of the chakras flowing together in harmony. So the microcosmic orbit allows the what's known as Kundalini energy to just flow continuously through all the energy centers. But it also keeps you grounded. You can be in the very highest states of consciousness and still be functional. And in some other energy systems, when the energy gets up to the top of the head and is locked at the crown chakra above, people become non-functional as human beings in ordinary life. May sit on a pillow in a temple, naked and drooling, and emanate tremendous energy, but not have a very integrated or balanced life. Now, it doesn't have to be that way. The Indians' Kundalini system also involves bringing the energy back down through the body, but most of the cultivation I've seen and experienced is all about bringing it up and just exploding into cosmic consciousness out the top of the head, which is a lovely thing, don't get me wrong. I love it. But in the Taoist tradition, we made sure that people were deeply grounded, rooted in the earth, and circled, that their energy and their spirit were fully encircled. Then, if that being leaves through the crown chakra and travels out into some of the etheric planes, no entity can invade and gain control or get into their astral body, which is undesirable. And we would say, when people would say, oh, teach me how to astral channel, we'd say, well, maybe you're not ready. Let's strengthen you and get you shielded and grounded first. And then hopefully they'll realize along the way there's just no purpose for getting stuck in the astral planes. Just go all the way to the void, to the light. So that's what I would have to say about that. Are there any other questions? Okay. Okay. Well, in that case, let me invite you to close your eyes and invoke the presence, the divine presence in your heart. Deep within you, at the center of your being, dwells the divine source itself. The light you seek, the divine union you seek, is already taking place within you. So invite this presence who dwells within you to awaken you beyond the veil of separation to oneness with the light, with the divine, with all that is. The feeling of separation, distance from the divine or from other people is an illusion created by the mind. And the way out of that illusion is to be awakened by the divine presence within you. This presence is unconditional love. No matter how much we screw up, this presence loves us unconditionally exactly as we are. The feelings of guilt and of judgment we heap upon ourselves, creations of the mind. For the divine sees us exactly as we are, knows everything about us, everything we've ever done, everything we will ever do, and still loves us and yearns to embrace us in love and draw us into the light of oneness at the center of our being. It's not something we can attain through our own efforts. We yield, we surrender, we consent, we allow the presence to draw us fully into itself. You might call this force that's drawing us into the center divine gravity. It's like the sun at the center of the solar system. If you let go of the gravitational pull of the earth, you quite naturally are drawn into the sun. When we let go of the things, the contents of the mind and the world, and turn our attention to the presence, quite spontaneously, divine love draws us into awakening and oneness. Allow it. Simply ask the divine to awaken you and cause your heart to flower, and let go and receive the oceans of grace that are flowing to you now. This presence is all-knowing, all-wise, all-powerful, well able to communicate to you full awakening and divine oneness. If you're carrying a burden with you tonight, just give it to the presence and let go. Feel the grace that's flooding that problem in your life, that relationship, flooding that part of your body that may be hurting or experiencing disease. The divine presence is predisposed to awaken you, to free your mind from conflict and negative programming and charges, to heal your physical body, to transform you and your relationships. Just let it be. Presence will melt all fear and resistance and free you from suffering. Just receive the grace pouring out to you. Nothing to do but allow and receive. Now visualize, with your eyes still closed, all of us sitting in a circle together. Lift up your hands with your palms open, facing forward, and just invite the presence to pour the flowering heart blessing through you to all the others as it's flowing back to you through them. If you need a miracle, if you're carrying a heavy burden tonight, put it in the center of the circle in your consciousness and let go as we all take a strong intention with the divine for miracles of divine intervention to turn those situations around, to heal them and transform them. Now visualize the beautiful blue planet Earth. Earth from space is a beautiful blue ball. Visualize that in the center of our circle, and let us take a strong intention and ask the divine to heal this planet and all who are living on it, all the creatures. To open the hearts of all the beings who live on this planet to know and experience oneness with the divine source and with one another and with the earth. Especially, we take a strong intention together, asking the divine presence to awaken the hearts and the consciousness of all human beings on planet Earth. To melt away the ignorance, the fear, the hatred, to melt the veils of delusion and blindness, to cause the hearts to come alive and the spiritual eyes to open to see the light. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Which is sort of an Indian way of saying Amen. Om, peace, peace, peace. Now just let your hands rest somewhere in your lap. And when you're ready, open your eyes and begin to make direct eye contact with me as we begin the open eye light meditation. During this meditation, I'm flooded with oceans of grace and light. And it begins to gush through every pore of my being to you, especially through my eyes. So just keep looking at least one of my eyes. That's all you need to do, and allow it to happen. The light will stream out of my eyes into your eyes. The eyes are called the doorways of the soul by many mystics. That light will shine in through your eyes into your spiritual heart, causing the flames of divine love and the light of awakening to grow brighter and brighter and brighter. You could close your eyes now. Meditate with me for a few more moments as the grace settles within us. Now keep meditating as long as it feels nice to you. Or find a place nearby and lie down in Shavasana. That's to lie on your back with your eyes closed and your arms loosely at your sides with the palms open, turned upward. And there, lying in the presence, let yourself dissolve in gratitude in the presence. We love you very much and look forward to coming together again very soon. In the meantime, know that the divine in me beholds the divine in you, and I bow to you. Namaste.